Hey everyone, Courtney Ponce here for another week of GSF Crew Predictions. It's the week of semifinals, so you know some interesting picks have been chosen. I have Alf and Edwin on site in San Jose, but first, let's take a look at what Justin Lum has to say about the Valley Christian and Bellarmine game.
We got maybe the toughest prediction I've had to make all year. We've got Bellarmine and we've got Valley Christian. We got the Bell boys and we got the War boys. I mean, this is gonna be crazy. Hold on. Bell boys or War boys? Who are the boys? Who's gonna make the noise? Hold on. All right. Now, in all seriousness, I really want to know who are going to be the boys that make it to the next round. This is a tough decision. Now, Bellarmine just took down a team in Milpitas that came in averaging 40 points a game. They went to their house, shut them down, beat them 9-6 in overtime with Kurt Calamini clutch in the game with the game-winning touchdown catch. This team is on that Space Jam water right now. They're on their own hype. They're on their own motivation. I respect them. So many people have picked against them to lose, and they keep rolling and rolling. Valley Christian, this team as well, is on fire. Both of these teams are built dub-cow tough, as you would say, but this is how I look at it. If Bellarmine can stick to that recipe of taking away the big play, aka Colin Johnson deep, they can handle that. If they can contain Kirk Johnson, which is another task in itself, and then they ground and pound like they always do and control the clock with Antonio Garcia, Anthony Gudadaro, Kyle McCauley, and if Troy Martig and Griffin Quinn, if they can limit their mistakes and if they can just manage the game, this team, bold prediction, might just take down the Valley Christian Warriors. Now, I got a lot of respect for the War Boys, and they've got a great defense as well, a great pass rush. But this is going to be physical. You got to throw the stats out the window. It's a whole new game. I know Valley Christian took out Bellarmine 42-17 way back, but this is the playoffs. In the end, making this prediction, Bellarmine comes out on top. It's the game of the week. So you're going to prove me wrong or prove me right. I'm going to see one of you after the game.
Well, you're sticking with the Bells. I see a blue fan zone in the near future with Jack Duffy. Up next, I have Kaylee. You're taking Los Gatos, which I think it's safe to say is a pretty good pick considering their shutout victory last week. Are you hoping for another dominating game?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say a dominating game. SHP is not going down without a fight. You gotta remember that is an undefeated team. But let's talk Los Gatos. They are 9-2 on the season. Both of those losses coming from some pretty tough teams, St. Mary's and Milpitas. And in both of those games, the Cats lost by 6 points or less. Not bad, right? They are also coming off a huge win against the Serra Padres. Not just a win, but a shutout. Los Gatos defense forced 5 turnovers against the defending CCS Open Division champs. That's big. And their leader in this whole thing, QB Drew Brown, your GOW MVP from last week. He threw 13 of 18 for 187 yards. He's a big time. He's the real deal. You know, I do think it's going to be a close game, but the W is going to Los Gatos.
Well, I am definitely liking your pick. Los Gatos has a lot of momentum coming into the semifinals against Sacred Heart Prep. Speaking of momentum, I have Edwin over at Bellarmine, who is working on a Valley Christian and Bellarmine preview package. Edwin, what's going on over there?
Well, first and foremost, hats off to Bellarmine for taking down the number 2 seeded Milpitas Trojans. I didn't see that coming. I don't know how many other people did, but I digress. Let's head right into my game, Wilcox versus Midi. Wilcox, the game plan is simple. They need to establish an early running game if they have any hopes of pulling off an upset. Now, they stumbled in their last 2 games of the regular season, but responded by taking down number 3, Christopher. However, in this matchup, I see the Monarchs taking it. Midi, their defense has been very, very good as of late. 7 straight games in which they've held opponents to 21 points or less, and they've really rebounded since the loss to VC. 2 straight games in which they put up 40-plus points. Brett Foley, Dakari Monroe, Trevor Lewis, all were playing like playmakers. Primetime performances that really catapulted their way into the next round. I envision Midi taking this one, and I see them taking on St. Francis in the Division II championship game.
So who do you think's going to win the finals?
I think it's too early to say. Let's take it week by week. However, if push came to shove, I see the Monarchs taking it.
Seriously, do you ever not pick Midi?
It doesn't seem like it, but I did take VC in their matchup earlier this year, and I was right about that one. Can't say the same about Kaylee.
And finally, let's go down Monterey Road where we're going to catch up with Alf, who is over at Valley Christian. Alf, Mac versus Fremont. Who are you taking?
Mac over Fremont, that's a no-brainer. If you look at all the scores from the OAL this year, McClymonds dominated every single team, and so I don't see any difference with this game. I mean, I know it's a championship game, but I still think that McClymonds is going to dominate Fremont, and it's going to be a high-scoring game, one-sided game, McClymonds winning the Silver Bowl.
Well, what about the Thanksgiving Day game up in the city with the Lincoln Mustangs and the Mission Bears?
Well, the Thanksgiving game that's a GSF tradition, and I'm glad that we're coming back again this year, and that's going to be another game of the week with Kaylee Krish. So we're looking forward to that one. But Lincoln, I say Lincoln will win this game because last year they lost a heartbreaker against Galileo. But then again, the last time Mission played in the championship, it was against Lincoln, and Lincoln edged them out 21-20. And so they're just as hungry. But the way I see it, Lincoln's been consistent. Coach Ferrigno is going to prepare the boys really well. And you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing Frank Hall from Mission because I know he's a playmaker. And but I got to go with Lincoln on this one.
Well, all the picks are in for this weekend's semifinal matchups. Best of luck to all the teams that will be participating, and happy Thanksgiving for myself and the entire GSF crew. That's going to do it for me. I'm Courtney Pons for Get Sports Focus, and I will see you next week.